All right, welcome back, guys. We have been talking about one-point perspective drawing. We've been talking about value. We're going to put all of these concepts together to create this grid that sort of gives the illusion of 9 different little hallways. Okay, so what we're going to discuss first of all is breaking up our space on our 6-inch square evenly, and then after you break up the space first of all is going to start with a 1/2-inch border, and then after that you're going to create an even grid within that border area where you have 1/4-inch kind of walls, if you will. So that's where we're going to go to. Let's get started. So to start this whole border making, what you're going to do, and again, folks here, you don't have to do it right now because I'm going to go kind of quick. What you're going to do, and you need to do this just as I'm doing so you can line up and keep things nice and even. Don't try to take any shortcuts in terms of doing one measurement because it typically will not line up for you, okay? So we're going to need to make a 1/2-inch border on this. So we're going to do one side at a time. We're going to work on the left side. You're going to put the 0 line on the edge of your paper. And you're going to work sort of at the top of your paper. Make a little mark at the 1/2-inch point, okay? You're going to do that again. You're going to slide your paper down or your ruler down. Make sure your 0 line is on the edge of your paper, again, because that is a nice constant. And then you're going to make a mark at the 1/2-inch. You need to do this on all 4 sides. You're going to line it up, make sure that those little marks that you just made are barely doing a little peekaboo, poking out. Measure twice, draw once. Really make sure that you're lined up before you get moving. Okay, and we have that. All right, the more upright you keep your pencil also, the easier it'll be to connect those marks. And keep going with this. Don't let these marks, these previous marks that you make, distract you. If you do that, if you get distracted, things will not turn out evenly. So be really careful with that. I'm going to line it up all the way to the edge, to the opposite edge. Make sure my marks are just barely poking out, which they are. And you can crisscross on the corner. When you do this portion, when you're doing any of the border lines, kind of marking out your space, you want to draw really lightly because a lot of this is going to end up getting erased later on. So don't make anything permanent until it needs to be permanent. Okay? Give yourself plenty of wiggle room to make mistakes, to erase, to keep it nice and fresh looking. The lighter and wider your borders are, the better your illusion will be. So you need to make sure that you're taking care of all that. Okay, one more. Make sure that the 0 line is constantly marked out. And then you will connect. All right, so that's step 1. And you have a nice square, all 4 sides. Now step 2, you have your space here, and the space is broken up. And here are some measurements. It's going to be within the inside portion, on the inside of that border, you have a 5-inch space. You can see that starts at the 1/2-inch in of the paper. And then what you're going to do, looking at the ruler, starting at the 0, you're going to make a mark at the top at 1.5 inches, 1 3/4. You can see where I put my little arrows, and you can see where the lines go down. 3 1/4. And 3.5. You can see those separations. This guy's already done at 5. So we're going to do that right there, right now. So, and you're going to do this 4 times. What happened with this? All right, I'm going to get creative. Sorry. 1 and what? 1/2? 1 3/4. 3 1/4, 3.5, 1.5, 1 3/4, 3 1/4, 3.5. Something was funky about that. It'll be all right. 1.5, 1 3/4, 3¼ 3½. Okay. 1 más. Okay. 3½. 3/4. 3¼ 3½. Okay. All right. So now at this point, you should have your marks on all 4 sides. Okay. So once you do that, these lines do need to be quite light because they are going to end up getting erased, especially at the intersections where they crisscross. So we're going to go straight across each mark. You got to do the tops and the bottoms. Straight across each mark. Okay. Turn it, 1/4 turn. And nice. One more time. So once you have all that, you basically set up your space for your value work later on. We haven't done any orthogonal lines or anything like that. Once you get rid, once you create that grid of lines, you want to get rid of the intersection lines. So you're just isolating and making really pretty boxes. And you can also eliminate your intersection stuff on the corners. Okay? So that is how you work on that grid. Make sure you get rid of all the intersections, all the corners. And then next video, we'll be creating the orthogonal lines to create the illusion of depth, and then finally adding in the value. Okay? So, have fun, enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe.